Ronald Clark O'Bryan, the Candyman Killer, a Halloween horror story. On Halloween night in 1974, Ronald Clark O'Bryan committed one of the most chilling and heart-wrenching crimes in modern American history, forever tarnishing the beloved holiday. Dubbed the Candyman by the media, O'Bryan murdered his own 8-year-old son, Timothy, by lacing his Halloween candy with cyanide in a calculated attempt to collect life insurance money. His actions not only shocked his community, it also fueled widespread fear and paranoia surrounding the safety of Halloween candy, a fear that lingers to this day. The tragic events began on the evening of October 31, 1974, in Deer Park, Texas, a suburb of Houston. O'Bryan took his son, Timothy, and his daughter, Elizabeth, trick-or-treating along with their neighbors. One of the homes they visited did not answer the door, but O'Bryan eventually returned to the group holding 5 oversized pixie sticks candy straws, claiming they had come from the house with the lights off. After the children returned home, O'Bryan allowed his son Timothy to eat one piece of candy before bed. Timothy chose the pixie sticks, but after taking a bite, he complained that the candy tasted bitter. Almost immediately, Timothy began vomiting and convulsing, and within an hour, he was pronounced dead at the hospital. Initially, authorities feared that the poison might have come from a random, deranged individual handing out tainted candy to unsuspecting children. This possibility led to widespread panic across the Houston area, with parents rushing their children's Halloween candy to the police for testing. However, as investigators delved deeper, they uncovered inconsistencies in O'Bryan's story. Despite O'Bryan's claim that the pixie sticks had come from a darkened house, none of the other children in the group had received candy from that home, and the man who lived there had been working that night, providing a solid alibi. Soon, police shifted their focus to O'Bryan himself. Their suspicions intensified when it was revealed that he had recently taken out life insurance policies on both of his children, totaling over $60,000, equivalent to over $350,000 today. O'Bryan had been struggling financially, deeply in debt, and it became clear that he had devised a sick plan to murder his son for the insurance payout. O'Bryan's financial desperation provided the motive for his heinous act, but investigators also discovered that he had been making disturbing inquiries in the month leading up to Halloween. He had asked several acquaintances about cyanide and where to obtain it. In addition, it was revealed that O'Bryan had visited a chemical supply store shortly before the murder, inquiring about purchasing cyanide, though he left without buying any. Police also found that O'Bryan had intentionally given poisoned pixie sticks to several other children, including his daughter, Elizabeth, and their neighbors, in an apparent effort to make Timothy's death look like part of a larger, random poisoning spree. Thankfully, none of the other children consumed the deadly candy. In fact, one boy had fallen asleep before eating his pixie sticks, and his parents later discovered that the top of the straw had been stapled shut, an ominous sign of tampering. Ronald Clark O'Bryan was arrested on November 5, 1974, and charged with the murder of his son. His trial began in May 1975, and the prosecution presented overwhelming evidence of O'Bryan's guilt. Witnesses testified about his inquiries regarding cyanide, his financial troubles, and the life insurance policies he had taken out on his children. Most damning were the testimonies of chemists and forensic experts who confirmed that the pixie sticks had been laced with lethal doses of potassium cyanide. Throughout the trial, O'Bryan maintained his innocence, claiming that he too was a victim of the supposed random poisoning. However, the jury saw through his lies, and after less than an hour of deliberation, they found him guilty of capital murder and 4 counts of attempted murder. On June 3, 1975, O'Bryan was sentenced to death. O'Bryan's crime sent shockwaves across the nation, creating widespread fear among parents about the safety of Halloween candy. Though the razor blades and apples myth had existed before this incident, O'Bryan's actions added real-life horror to these urban legends, causing a lasting impact on how Halloween was celebrated in the United States. To this day, many parents continue to inspect their children's candy after trick-or-treating, a grim tradition that stems from O'Bryan's horrific crime. Ronald Clark O'Bryan spent nearly a decade on death row, during which time he became a reviled figure both among fellow inmates and the public. On March 31, 1984, O'Bryan was executed by lethal injection in Huntsville, Texas. As a final act of defiance, O'Bryan refused to make any final statements, maintaining his innocence to the very end. Outside the prison, a crowd of over 300 people gathered to celebrate his execution, shouting "Trick or treat," as they watched the lights dim, signaling his death. The tragic story of Ronald Clark O'Bryan, the man who killed his own son for financial gain, remains one of the most disturbing criminal cases in American history. The senseless nature of his crime, targeting innocent children and using a beloved holiday as the backdrop, has left a lasting scar on the public's consciousness. O'Bryan's actions forever changed Halloween, with many parents adopting the practice of closely inspecting their children's candy, a direct result of his malevolent plan. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy true crime stories and chilling unsolved mysteries, be sure to like this video, leave a comment, and hit the subscribe button for more spine-tingling content.